The thunderclap did not come with bells, trumpets, or balcony waves. It arrived in a flat, formal statement from Kensington Palace, carrying more power than 1,000 photographs. A move, at first glance domestic, echoed like a detonation across Britain. The Prince and Princess of Wales were leaving Adelaide Cottage, their supposed forever home, for a new permanent residence. And suddenly, the monarchy's walls began to tremble. From the outside, it looked like a family matter, a change of address, a new roof for young children. But those who follow the crown know better. The royals never shift their foundations lightly. Every door opened, every curtain drawn, every gate crossed is freighted with centuries of meaning. And here, behind the polished wording, was a truth so raw that even seasoned palace courtiers admitted in private, this was not about comfort. It was about power. About survival. About rewriting the script of monarchy in real time. Public reaction crashed first. Social media flared, tabloids howled, even loyal monarchists exchanged uneasy whispers. Why would William and Catherine, who so carefully built an image of stability, uproot their family again? Adelaide Cottage was supposed to be the sanctuary, 4 modest bedrooms, green Windsor fields, proximity to the late Queen Elizabeth II in her final years. It was meant to shield their children from the Goldfish Bowl of London. But now, 2 years later, even that refuge was abandoned. Was it too small? Too fragile? Or was something deeper at play, a rift inside Windsor's very heart? And then came the second reaction, sharper, darker, from within the palace walls. Courtiers schooled in discretion clenched their lips, but their silence screamed. Aides who knew the truth admitted what could not be said aloud. Adelaide Cottage had always been temporary. A trial run. A pause button. And now the pause was over. The Wales family was moving again, not merely across a park, but across a line of history. Windsor experiment. To understand the explosion of today, we must return to the quieter tremors of 2022. That summer, William and Kate stunned Britain by leaving their glittering 20-room apartment 1A at Kensington Palace for Adelaide Cottage, a humble house tucked within Windsor Great Park. To outsiders, it seemed a retreat, a step down from grandeur. But insiders knew the move was loaded with symbolism. Queen Elizabeth II was fading. Her health, long a whispered subject, weighed on her family. William and Catherine wanted proximity, not pomp. They chose Windsor to be near the monarch who defined their lives and their destiny. Adelaide Cottage gave them privacy, gave their children a school unshadowed by paparazzi lenses, gave Catherine a breath of normality. To her, Kensington had become a golden cage. Every garden stroll was captured, every curtain twitch recorded. Windsor promised something gentler, freer. And yet, even then, murmurs circulated. Too small. Too temporary. Too fragile for a family destined for the throne. Adelaide was never meant to last. It was rehearsal, not permanence. Every supper around its modest dining table, every bedtime story read within its walls carried a hidden weight. Could the monarchy function from simplicity, stripped of marble and chandeliers? Could William and Catherine chart a course that bent tradition without breaking it? The answer came faster than anyone expected. A nation speculates. By the second year at Adelaide Cottage, speculation swirled like autumn leaves. Royal reporters, hungry for signals, fastened on every rumour. And one rumour rose above the rest: Fort Belvedere. The infamous fortress of Windsor, forever stained by the abdication of Edward VIII, loomed in headlines. Could the future king rehabilitate a house once synonymous with betrayal? Could William and Catherine turn scandal into redemption? For months, the idea intoxicated the press. It was history rewritten, ghosts exorcised. But inside the palace, the whispers were colder. Some warned that planting the heir in the very home where duty was abandoned would curse the next reign. Others felt the symbolism irresistible. Britain divided itself between tradition's guardians and modernity's gamblers. And then came the truth, more startling than even the rumors. Forget Fort Belvedere. Forget Windsor Castle. Forget Kensington. The next chapter would be written at a place almost no one had heard of. Bombshell, Forest Lodge. Forest Lodge. An obscure house on the Windsor estate, tucked away from the public gaze, known to few outside the tightest royal circles. Overnight, it went from footnote to front page. The announcement shocked commentators who had spent careers charting the palace's every step. This was not a palace, not a fortress, not a gilded stage. It was a retreat, quiet, private, unseen. And that was the point. By rejecting Buckingham Palace, the dazzling symbol of royal power, and Windsor Castle, the beloved fortress of Queen Elizabeth, William and Catherine were making a declaration. The monarchy would not be defined by stone and ceremony alone. It would be defined by survival, by adaptation, by family. Forest Lodge was not grandeur. It was strategy. Critics called it reckless, stripping the crown of mystique. Supporters hailed it as courageous, dragging monarchy into the 21st century. Either way, the message was unmistakable. William and Catherine were choosing independence over inheritance, presence over pomp. Sanctuary from grief. Yet beneath the politics, the move was profoundly human. Adelaide Cottage had been chosen in love, close to the Queen, safe for the children. But after her death, it became haunted. Every corner carried memories of absence. Every quiet evening echoed with loss. Grief weighed on William, on Catherine, on their young family. What once sheltered them now suffocated. Forest Lodge offered release. A reset. Catherine, still shadowed by health struggles and relentless speculation, needed privacy to heal. William, torn between duty and fatherhood, needed space to breathe. For their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, Forest Lodge promised a home where laughter could return, where ghosts would not intrude. This was not just relocation. It was survival. Declaration of independence. But even in healing, the political reverberations shook Buckingham. For centuries, heirs had moved into palaces as statements of continuity. By refusing, William and Catherine were rewriting the rules. They were not just choosing a home, they were sketching the blueprint of a future crown. Their refusal to use public funds for renovations, their decision to live without live-in staff, all of it signaled a monarchy stripped back to human scale. To some, it was refreshing. To others, it was dangerous. Could a monarchy without majesty command loyalty? Could a crown without castles still gleam? The debate raged, but one fact was undeniable: history had shifted. A precedent was set. A house divided. And within the family, the move deepened fractures. King Charles, already uneasy in the shadow of his mother's reign, saw his heir taking bold steps without deference. To him, it looked like rebellion. To Camilla, it felt like rejection, a message that she and Charles belonged to the past, while William and Catherine owned the future. Yet Princess Anne, ever practical, quietly supported her nephew. To her, Forest Lodge symbolized duty over display, survival over spectacle, values she had lived by all her life. In that subtle endorsement, she reminded Britain that the late Queen's spirit still watched over the family. Final gambit. And so, Forest Lodge became more than a house. It became a battlefield. Was it the Wales family's forever home, a stable refuge for their children, a quiet assertion of independence? Or was it a gambit, a risky bet that Britain would accept a monarchy less gilded, less theatrical, more human? The answer remains unwritten. But one thing is clear. As Adelaide Cottage closes and Forest Lodge opens, the monarchy steps into uncharted territory. The crown has always survived upheaval by bending, not breaking. But this bend feels deeper, more daring, more dangerous. The walls of Buckingham still gleam. Windsor's towers still rise. But the future of the monarchy may now be written in the shadows of Forest Lodge, where the next king and queen have chosen laughter over ceremony, privacy over spectacle, and survival over tradition. And Britain watches, breath held, wondering, is this the dawn of a new era, or merely the quiet before a storm?